Hello, what's poppin', YouTube? Lovely people of the internet. What's up, light workers and star seeds? You tuned into my video because it's something about me that you relate to. You relate to the fact that when I start my videos off, I talk about how I'm an alien from another planet, sent here to raise the frequency of this planet. Because planet Earth, like I always say, got some issues. There's a whole lot of work that planet Earth needs. And I'm here to help with that by bringing a new perspective from a higher dimension down to planet Earth, baby. So, that being said, greetings, Earthlings. How y'all doing? I'm going to try to do this video without editing it just because I always edit my videos and I just want to do a different style of video. I can't guarantee that I won't edit this video, but I'm gonna try to let it flow so that I don't feel like I need to edit it. Okay, so the topic of today's video is why I regret being submissive in my relationships with these men. Well, boys, because they really had the mentality of children, of little boys, not of grown men, and that was my fault for choosing them. You know what I'm saying? So, I was in my very first relationship, my very first boyfriend in my early 20s. I was the leader of that relationship. I was the dominant one. Despite us being literally the same exact age, born the same exact year, I was literally a good 10 years or 10 to 15 years older than him. We both at the time were like 23, 24. But he had the mentality of a 16-year-old and I had the mentality of a 30-year-old. So I felt like I was babysitting him a lot and that I was teaching him how to do basic things like wash your ass, clean your apartment. I would come in here and I'm like, why does your apartment smell like fish? Like, you need to clean up. And that doesn't make me as a woman feel good. You know, because I don't want to be a mom. I feel like I'm nagging you, and I don't want to nag no man. I want to encourage my man. I want us to have a fun, positive, like healthy type of relationship. I don't want to have to nag you. No. You need to just have your place clean. And if you know that you're having your girlfriend over, you should want your place to be clean for her. You should want her to have a place to sit. And I didn't even have a place to sit because his place was so messy. And as a woman who has high standards for herself, that's not okay. It's not okay that you let food sit out and it just stinks. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that relationship right there, I felt very much in my power. It was the first time that I had cut my hair really short. By the way, I'm sipping on some wine. Y'all, how am I to pronounce this? Cabernet Sauvignon. Hold on. How am I to pronounce this? What's this called? Cabernet Sauvignon? Cabernet Sauvignon? I don't know. It's like, is it French? I don't know. But this is what I'm sipping on right now. And it's dark wine. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So, that first relationship, I was the dominant one and I felt in my power. It was the first time I had cut my hair like really short, like boy short, you know. Let me sip her. Let me sip you. When I sip, I really sip. And I had this dope haircut, and it was the first time I had ever cut my hair like that. And I don't know what it was about the frequency of having short hair, but I felt dominant. I felt more in my masculine power. I felt just very powerful. And, you know, I guess I felt even more powerful being in a relationship with somebody that relied so heavily on my opinion and my perspective on things and didn't really have his own opinion and perspective on things. And you know, I really was in that relationship because I really wanted a boyfriend and I really wanted to have fun and I really wanted the attention and I was lonely and, you know, things like that, right? So after that relationship, I was like, my next boyfriend, I don't want him to be a follower. because it really got on my nerves how much of a follower he was. It really got on my nerves how much like he would repeat what I say because he felt that I was like I was the cool one, and he wanted to like fit in with me. He wanted to impress me, you know, and I didn't like that. I wanted a man that was his own person, had his own personality, and didn't really care, you know, like I am who I am, either you like it or you don't, you know. A man that's just, he knows how to be himself, and he doesn't reject himself as much, right? Really what I wanted was a man to be more dominant. Like most women who are in a relationship with men, you want your man to be dominant, right? So a couple of years later, I got into another relationship, right? And this partner was more dominant. This partner was what I wanted, because I manifested him and I wanted him to be a certain way. So he was more dominant, and to the point where I was submissive naturally, but there were times when I hyped up being submissive too much. Okay, and that's what I'm about to get into in this video about being submissive in relationships, because I heard from like older women that a woman is supposed to submit to her man, and oh, I made mistakes in my marriage and I needed to submit to my husband more, and this, that, and the third, from black women, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, that's how you make a marriage last. She felt that her marriage didn't last because she wasn't submissive enough. So I'm like, okay, in my next relationship, I'm gonna be that, you know? And in some cases, me being submissive was natural and it was perfectly fine. But in other cases, I would force the submissiveness because I really wanted it to work, and I thought that's what I was supposed to do, you know? And looking back on it, I'm like, why did I even think like that? Like, what was you thinking? And I would hype it up too much. I would be like, yeah, I feel like a woman should submit to her man. And I would say these things to him, and I'd be like, yeah, man, a man should be the leader and the ultimate decision maker, and blah 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 blah. And I just hyped it up too much, to the point where I got tired of being so much like a yes woman, so much like a, you know, whenever he'd be like, go do this and go do that, I got tiring to just go do it, because I felt like I'm grown, you know, and I don't mind doing things for you, because he was providing for me, and that's why I was submissive in the first place, was because he was providing for me. But it got to a point where he always expected for me to just hop up and do something that he told me to do, you know. And at first I really liked it. Like, I really was invigorated by his bossiness. I was really turned on by his bossiness. I'm like, he's sexy. He be telling me what to do and stuff. Like, us women, we like that. I was like, okay, he telling me what to do. You know what I'm saying? He bossing me around. He like, go turn that light off. Turn that fan towards me. And I thought it was hot because of what I experienced with my first boyfriend, who was literally the opposite. He wanted me to leave. If I told him to do something, he would do it. And I don't want to be a bossy partner. I don't want to be the partner that's like, go do this, go do that. That doesn't feel right to me. I want you to have your own mind. So I'm like, okay, this is different. My ex-boyfriend wasn't like this. I like this. Okay. And it really turned me on. You know, and I really liked it. But I got a little sassy, and I was just like, okay, I don't always want to, because it would be like we'd be in the kitchen, right? And he'd be like two inches from the cabinet where the plastic bags are. And then he'd be like, go hand me that plastic bag, or go, like, you know, he would tell me to go do stuff that he could have done himself. Like, he was literally right there. And I started to feel like a pushover, like he was taking advantage of me. And looking back on it, you know, maybe at times I was a little too sassy in my responses, and I wasn't even really sassy. It was just more like I would just look at him like, really, like, you really think I'm gonna do this right now? Like, I wasn't even like really being sassy necessarily. I just looked at him like, why are you asking me to do this right now? Like, you know you can do that. But when it all boils down to it, I was the submissive one in that relationship from start to finish. He was the one raising his voice. He was the one dominating, making the decisions. And I submitted because he was the provider and I was dependent on him. And, you know, I did speak up, y'all, because you know, that's just my personality. You know, I did speak up, but when it boiled down to it, we both agreed, yeah, like, Bae is the dominant one. My boyfriend was the dominant one at the time. And I don't regret entirely, like, being submissive, because I feel like if a man is providing for a woman, she should submit to him in many ways. But I regret hyping it up so much, because it made him think that I was just always going to be this person that ran and just did what you wanted me to do every single time. And just, it made him not respect me sometimes. Like, him doing dumb stuff. I'm not going to censor myself. Him doing dumb stuff like, you know, okay, well, Sydney, she's going to be submissive. She's not going to do anything. So let me, you know, tell her that my baby mama is going to live with us. Even though she literally just expressed to me how much she don't trust this woman, how uncomfortable she feels around this woman, how she feel like this woman is this, that, and the third. And literally a couple weeks later, you coming to me saying, oh, well, my baby mama, she might be living with us. You know, she's in a financial crunch and she might be living with us. And, like, you just don't respect me. The fact that you could even just say that, like, just in passing, he didn't even sit down and say it to me. It's just as he's walking out of the room, he's like, oh, yeah, and my baby mama, she gonna stay with us too. And just walk out the room like it's no big deal, or like, really like he knew it was something wasn't right about it, but he wanted to just brush it off, and he didn't want to experience my wrath. Because although I was submissive, I'm a Taurus. I still have a wrath. I still have an angry wrath. But I was in a situation where I felt kind of trapped. So I felt like I couldn't really be as combative as I really wanted to towards him when he would do certain things that he knew was inappropriate. Like, that's completely inappropriate. And I had to be calm about it, and just, I was pissed. I was like, what? But I had to force myself to be calm. So we had a one-on-one. I had to come to him calmly, because I knew that I was in like an eggshell kind of situation, like feeling like I'm walking on eggshells with him. And so I pretty much was like, listen, if the tables were turned and this was my apartment, if the tables were turned and this was my apartment and I was letting you live with me, and I told you that my ex-boyfriend was going to live with us, you would not have it. And I told him, I said, you would feel emasculated, wouldn't you? That's just like, you don't respect me as a man. Like, he would feel like I didn't respect him as a man. Like, how dare you think that some other man is going to come up in here and we just going to coexist and under the same roof, you know, when we both was intimate with this woman. I'm intimate with her, and you used to be intimate with her. What do you think? You think I'm going to share? You know what I'm saying? And I was under the impression that his baby mama still had feelings for him. So that's not going to work. Because I'm feeling like she coming up in here, she trying to steal me from you. Ain't no woman in her right mind going to let her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend live with them. Like, and I told him, I said, yo, I just saw a prank on YouTube of this couple talking about they bringing their ex to live with them, and then the woman was not having it. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about, packing her stuff. Like, no, she's not coming to live up in here. And I told myself, I just watched a YouTube prank on this. And the girl was like, oh, heck no. And I'm like, if she ain't gonna take it, why should I take it? If she ain't gonna take it, I ain't gonna take it. But I had to be calm about it and just explain to him how I felt in a mature way. And I'm glad that I did. But, my God, I just wanted to scream at him. Like, and that's not the first time that he would do things that made me feel just so disrespected. And I blame it on me hyping up this whole submissive narrative, that I needed to be submissive. Like, you should be submissive in certain, damn, the noise. You should be submissive in certain situations, but you shouldn't be submissive when somebody is doing something that goes against your morals and your standards, and you feel that they're treating you less than what you should be, you know, less than what you, they're giving you less than what you deserve. And you know it. But because you told yourself that you're going to play this role of being submissive, you hold your tongue. And if that's what being submissive is, me being a doormat and me being disrespected and walked all over top of, then you can screw that whole thing. I'm not going to be submissive then. So moving on to my most recent relationship. I broke up with him because I, you know, where do I even begin with this? Let me put it this way. He wasn't providing. And you're in your mid-30s. You're too close to 40 to be in a position where you getting on my phone complaining about how you wish you had money. Why don't you have money? At your age, you should, if you're not financially where you are, financially where you want to be, you should be striving towards being there. Not getting on my phone crying about how you are not there. Because I'm under the impression that you're not trying. I'm under the impression that you're a bum. And he really was. When it turned out when it really boiled down to it, he really was a bum. And he really was trying to use me. Because he didn't know how to get his own resources. So he would try to use my rides. He would try to use my money. He would try to use my resources. And then, after not providing for me, not helping me out financially, not doing really a damn thing for me, and then he got on the phone talking about, I thought about living with you. Living with who? Oh, you must have thought that you dialed your mom's number. You must have thought you was talking to your mom, because you ain't talking to me. You really can't be that delusional into thinking that you are just gonna not make your own money, not know how to provide for yourself. You can't even provide for yourself, let alone provide for me. And you think you're gonna come over here and live with me, and then we just gonna struggle together? Ah, what a dream. So I was submissive in that relationship. Me being submissive in that relationship was worse than me being submissive in the second one. You know, because at least the one that I was living with previously, at least he was providing for me. It is more okay for a woman to submit to a man that's providing for her than for her to submit to some bum that's just trying to mooch off of her and trying to come into her house and just live with her and have her pay the bills, and he just gonna sit there and complain about how he wish he had a car. You ain't even got a license. He didn't even tell me that. Here I am the whole time thinking that this man got a license. You're in your mid-30s. Why the heck don't you have a license? You didn't even tell me that. You was keeping that from me. Of course, I'm assuming that you got a license at his age. I'm assuming that you got a license. The thought didn't even cross my mind that he didn't. And then he revealed to me over the phone. And I regret being submissive because it really made him think that I was a doormat. And it really made him think like he didn't have to try. He didn't have to take me out on dates to sleep with me. He didn't have to put forth any effort with, in order to keep me. That he can just, I tell him, hey, text me, call me more often. Like, I feel like you don't care about me. I feel like you're not giving me enough attention. Could you please call me and text me? I need to know that you're okay. And he was like, okay, I can do that. And then he didn't do it. I complained again. Please text and call me more. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. I feel like I'm single. Please text and call me. Still nothing. And I'm saying this over and over and over again. And for you to have the audacity to not reach out to me, you don't text me and call me, and then to think that you're going to live with me? You don't even help me with the bills. You complain about how broke you are all the time. Are you serious? And I regret submitting to him. Letting him come into my space and be bossy towards me, because that really, it was a reflection of horrible self-esteem for me. Because although I do love myself and I do value my voice, there was still that wounded child in there that didn't recognize her worth. And because of that, I allowed him to come up in my space, be disrespectful towards me, be disrespectful towards my company, demanding that they give him a ride. Like, how could you even be this way? Like, how could you even come into somebody's life and come into somebody's space and be so entitled to their company's resources? It ain't even my resources. It's my company's resources. You don't even know this person, a complete stranger. So, and I regret being submissive because it put me in an uncomfortable situation, and it made me look bad to my company. Because I'm over here just submitting and letting this dude just act crazy and rude and try to use people, and I'm just sitting here just like, Lead the way, Captain. Captain of what? Loserness? Captain of lameness? Captain of I'm too old to be acting the way I'm actingness? Like, captain of corniness? You ain't the captain of nothing but wasting my goddamn time. So I regret submitting to him because I was very frustrated in that relationship a lot. Because for you to really think that you're going to get in these drawers, and for him to just think that I'm going to pay for his rides to get here because his car is getting fixed, even though it had been getting fixed for the past 4 months, like, you're lying at this point. At this point, you're making something up. Something is not adding up. Why don't you want to drive a car at your age? Why don't you want to have these things? Why do you want to rely on other people to get you places? Why are you okay with that? Why are you not making an effort to change that? And then my dumb ass, for me to be up there submitting and just, I regret it. Listening to some old hags who didn't know what they was talking about. Like, you were supposed to submit to a man, and that's really the biggest lesson for me that I learned. You are supposed to submit to a man that puts a ring on it. Number one. Provides for you financially. Of course, make your own money, sis. Make your own money. But he's supposed to add to that. When you don't have it, he's supposed to be like, okay, I got you. The neighbors is talking, and it really is getting on my nerves. Anyway, submit to him when he's providing for you. Submit to him when he takes you out on dates. He doesn't expect that y'all just about to jump in the bed and he's not going to take you on a date. He's not going to buy you nothing. He's not going to do nothing for you. That's not cool. And these men out here are really relying on the hope, the delusional hope that us women are going to be so insecure and so low in our self-worth, feeling low in our self-worth, that we are going to just allow them to mooch off of us and use our stuff and disrespect us. And we actually do one simple thing like call and text, and you don't even do that. You expect to just be half-assed and do nothing that you know that you're supposed to do as a man, and I'm supposed to just bring you into my home and let you live. What? And I blame myself because it frustrated me that I even had to hear him on my phone telling me he was going to live with me. After being on my phone, always having some nonsense going on in your life, you're getting into fights, you're shooting dice, things that you should not be involved with. And then you trying to gaslight me because I'm telling you that you should not be involved with this stuff. Because I care about you, and I want you to make better decisions for yourself. You're too old to be getting into these situations, fighting people over weed. And you trying to gaslight me and make me feel ignorant and make me feel like a fool because I feel like that you're too old to be getting involved with this. And you're like, oh, well, you gotta walk a mile in my shoes. You can't judge me, blah, 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 blah. But I can judge you. It is within my rights to judge you. Because if I don't judge you, I'm just going to be a doormat. And you're going to walk all over top of me. And you're going to end up coming into my space and ruining my life. Because I know there are some women who have let men ruin their life. They had it all together, and they let some man come in and live with them, and then everything just went crumbling down. I would rather live alone. If you don't have it together, you don't have your own career, or striving towards having your own career, your own car, everything. If you don't have that, I don't want to be with you. This is my space. This is my sacred space. And every man under the sun cannot be invited into this sacred space. So I would not be submitting to just any regular man. You should not supposed to submit to every single man that you're in a relationship with, because for all you know, spiritually speaking, you could be submitting to Lucifer himself. And it's the truth. You submitting, and I was submitting to the wrong ones, because I'm submitting, and it turns out these men that I'm submitting to didn't care about me at all. Like they couldn't care less if I was dead or alive. And I'm over here submitting to their will and letting them lead the way and letting them tell me what to do and what to think. And where they gonna lead you other than to the pits of hell? Because that's where they at. They are in the hell of their own consciousness, and that's where they gonna lead you. So get it together, sis. It's okay to submit to your man. Actually, it's a good thing to submit to your man, but only under certain circumstances. He has to be your husband. You can't just submit to a dude that you've been in a relationship with for 5 months. He needs to know that, he needs to understand your standards and expectations. He needs to know what you expect in a relationship before you go submitting to him. Because who are you submitting to? Like I said, you could be submitting to the spawn of Satan himself. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. So, only submit if the man is providing for you like a husband, okay? In the Bible, it talks about a woman submitting to man and man submitting to woman under marriage. You don't submit just to any bum off the corner that you've been talking to for 30 days. That's not going to provide any balance for you. Okay, so I don't recommend you going into a relationship with any man feeling like you need to fight and argue all the time. I don't recommend that at all, because what's the point of being in a relationship if y'all can't ever get along? So with the second boyfriend, the one where I was like, oh, he bossy, that's what's up. With him, he was the combative type, and so he would be the one raising his voice, and I wasn't really doing any of that. If I'm raising my voice, it's because I'm going on a rant about the injustices in the world. Usually that's when I'm going on my rants, or I'm raising my voice. I'm not raising my voice at him. I'm just, expressing my opinion, and I get passionate and I get loud. But for him, he actually was raising his voice, like trying to argue. And I never raised my voice at him, ever. And I'm actually glad about that. Because it's safe to say that I was classy. And I was as good as I could be. So I don't really regret being submissive with him. Except for, once he started doing the disrespecting, trying to let his baby mom live with us, then that's when I started to regret this being submissive. And once he started expecting that I was always going to just get up and do what he wanted me. Like once, it got a little bit, it got old. But I don't regret submitting to him as much as I regret submitting to my most recent boyfriend. God, why am I tripping on my word? Come on now. So I don't, like I said, I don't regret that as much. But I regret submitting to my previous boyfriend because he was not providing. He did less for me than the boyfriend before him. So I'm like, why are you downgrading? When you break up with somebody, you're supposed to elevate and be with somebody that's better for you, not worse. So, yeah, I learned a lot of lessons from those experiences, and I'm very grateful for those experiences. But I know that I am born to be a leader, and I'm gonna be a leader, and that's just that. So, yeah, give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Did I just say that? Give a thumbs up. Like is the same thing. Share it. I already said that. Why am I repeating myself? Anyway, subscribe, y'all. Live your best life. Love yourself and love life, and submit to the one of God. Submit to the man of God. Submit to the woman of God. Okay? Otherwise, you pretty much submit to the devil. Okay? So, bye.